Hello, students. Today I want to share with you what are some of the components of a typical speech for public speaking. There are many types of speeches that you can give in life, and this class is meant to prepare you to give any type of speech. Well, in order to give any type of speech, you have to understand that there are certain components of a speech that you have to have in your mind, especially as you are planning the speech. If you don't consider all of these opponents, then you may not have the effect in your speech that you are desiring. So I'm going to go through each one. I'm going to talk about what I think are the more important ones to consider. And then I'm hoping that as we go through the class, you will be able to experiment with these different components, changing them in order to craft different types of speech. Remember that a speech is a piece of art. And just like when you are creating a piece of art, say in an art class, you have different types of paper, you have different mediums, you have different types of applications, you have different shades and colors. And in the same way, when you have all those choices in order to craft your piece of art in art class, you have different choices when crafting your speech in public speaking. So let's look at these together. The first, and what I think is the most important, is the purpose. The purpose of your speech, as you can see right here, I put it number one, is why you're giving it. If you don't know why you're giving a speech, then you are setting yourself up for either disaster or confusion. There are three main reasons why you give a speech, three main purposes. We call these general purposes. The first is to inform, the second is to persuade, and the third is to honor or honor an occasion, a person, etc. Now there are lots of different variants of those, but those are the three general purposes. So make sure you know, am I giving this speech to inform, or to persuade, or to honor? Which one are you doing? Know that when you start, because if you start saying you're going to persuade and merely inform, you confuse your audience. And I could go into all of the different ways that you could mess that up and confuse not only yourself, but your audience, which is number two, by the way. Whom? To whom are you giving the speech? In this class, we're going to have to do some pretending. Not always will you be giving your speech to a group of students. Now, in the real sense, you are, but in the way that you are preparing the speech, I want you sometimes to pretend that you're giving it to a different type of audience. We are not doing this because we are out of touch with reality, but in order to practice, that's what we're going to have to do. Wouldn't it be great if we had those actual audience members in a different space? But we don't. So we're going to practice the best we can so that when you get out and you actually have that audience, you've at least practiced. The third is your message. The message is what you're saying. Okay, what are you informing them about? What are you persuading them to do or to think or to believe? Whom are you honoring? What are you honoring? Those are the type of questions that you have to ask as you are preparing your speech so that you can do it in the best way possible so that that message aligns with your audience. You want the message to be the clearest and best for the particular audience to whom you are giving your speech. You would have an obvious difference in diction, tone, etc., giving a speech to a group of academics versus a group of children. That makes sense. The next, and I think not as important, but definitely it is important, is the speaker. That's you. People are not coming, people may be coming to see you, but that's not where you want the focus. You don't want the focus on yourself. You want the focus on your message. Now, you're obviously part of that message because you're the one delivering it. You get to choose your gestures. You get to choose the words that you speak, the tone that you speak, the inflection. You get to choose the diction. I mean, there's so many things you choose as the speaker, but all of that is to actually get the people's mind off of you and get it onto your message. You got to remember that. So you want to be the voice, but not where we put our attention. Make sure that you consider that. And actually, this is a secret, the less you think about yourself, the less scared you will be while you're giving this speech. The more you're thinking about yourself, the more insecure you will feel. And the more insecure you will feel, the more fear you will exude. The more fear you exude, the less people trust you. So make sure that you, as you're practicing, you're not thinking about you. You're thinking about that message. And that's also one of the reasons why, if you have choice in what you give your speech about, pick something you're passionate about. Pick something you're curious about, because that curiosity, that passion will come out, and it won't be about you, it'll be about your message, which is one of the most important things or components of a speech. Finally, we have the occasion. That's when and where you give it. We can't change the fact that it's going to be either from your room in some kind of a video, or it's going to be in front of the class. That's just how it's going to be, unless we create some kind of recorded video, which we may do. So, but in real life, the occasion may be on a wedding day in a reception hall. The real occasion may be in a funeral a few days after the death of a loved one. The occasion may be on graduation day in front of thousands of parents and students. You get the idea. So obviously that occasion is going to affect not only you, but your message, your purpose, and the audience. So keep that in mind as well. And again, we'll have to pretend doing that too sometimes. I hope this has been helpful. As we start to actually craft these speeches, I will help you keep these things in mind, especially as we're making outlines. I will make you write down the general purpose. We'll talk about specific purpose. We'll talk about thesis or claim, which has a lot to do with the message. We're going to hit all of this, but this is the theory behind it. This is the overarching principles, the components that make up your speech, and things you need to keep in mind in order to make sure that your speech is clear and on point and powerful, which is what we want, right? Have a great day.